안녕하세요, 여러분. 안녕하세요. Please let me know if you guys can hear me. And welcome to class, guys. I'm so super excited for today's class because I have brought a lot of amazing resources just for this class, and I had so much fun preparing for this. 그래서 오웬님 안녕하세요. 들려요? 오케이, 좋습니다. 그리고 티샤님 안녕하세요. Welcome, guys. Welcome. 트래버님 안녕하세요. 그리고 멜님도 안녕하세요. Okay, thank you for coming to class, guys. Today we're gonna learn how to introduce ourselves. Oh, my cat is walking around on my desk. 잠깐만요. 방해하지 마. Please don't disturb. 여러분 다 안녕하세요. Alright, so 자기소개 is called self-introduction. 자기소개. To introduce yourself in Korean is to 자기소개를 하다. So we're gonna learn how to 자기소개, how to do 자기소개 in this class. Alright, so we're gonna start from beginner section and then we'll move on to intermediate. So the first half of this class will be beginners, the second half, intermediate level learners. And for beginners, we will focus on learning how to express these 6 key elements in your introduction. So let's begin, guys. Are you guys ready? 준비됐나요, 여러분? 준비됐으면, if you guys are ready, we will get started. So introductions are usually done to unfamiliar people or mostly done to unfamiliar people, right? People that you don't know that well. So the formal endings 씁니다 is most commonly used more than you. So you can mix both 씁니다 ending and you ending in your sentence, but note that 씁니다 is more commonly used because usually you are surrounded by unfamiliar people and the atmosphere is a little bit formal when in a setting where you have to introduce yourself, right? So in this class as well, we'll also practice with sentences that have this 씁니다 formal ending, guys. 씁니다 formal ending. So it's very easy. You can just combine the stem of the verb. The stem of the verb. Let's make it a little bigger. Stem of the verb and then add 비읍 받침 if the verb's stem ends in vowel, and 습, you add 습 if the verb stem ends in consonant. So it's either 비읍 or 습니다. So for example, if you combine 좋아하다 verb with 씁니다 ending, 비읍 씁니다 ending, what would be the final form, guys? What would be the final form? This verb stem has 좋아하. It ends in vowel, right? 하 ends in vowel. So you can add 비읍 받침 and then 니다. So it becomes 좋아합니다. 그리고 how about 먹다 plus 비읍 씁니다. 먹다. 먹다 means to eat. How about 먹다 plus 비읍 씁니다? What would be the final form of this combo? It would be the stem ends in 받침, right? So you add 먹, not 비읍 받침 because there's no place for 비읍 to fit in even if you try to do that. So it's not 비읍, 먹습니다 would be the final answer, final form. So yes, we're going to focus on using 비읍 씁니다 ending. And before we get into the details, guys, let me share an example of my own self-introduction so that you guys can get an overview. So it goes like this, guys. 안녕하세요. 저는 비키라고 하고 한국 사람입니다. 직업은 한국어 선생님입니다. 고양이를 제일 좋아합니다. 잘 부탁드립니다. So you guys can check the translation here. And after this beginner part of the class, you will be able to speak about yourself like this, like in this format. And although it's a beginner level, it still sounds very natural and it's perfect for brief introduction. So you don't have to worry about not sounding native just because it's a simple, easy level introduction, because it does sound native, guys. All right. 그러면 let's start with greetings, guys. Greetings. So the way you can start, okay, so I will close this text box, guys. You can find a worksheet file in the description box. All right. So let's move on to greetings. You can start by saying hello or hi, just like in any other language, right? So the most common one is 안녕하세요. Hi. Hello. 안녕하세요. A more formal form of hello would be 안녕하십니까. But even if it's a formal setting, 안녕하십니까는 it's too formal. 그래서 I recommend avoiding it and just go with 안녕하세요, however formal the setting is, the setting you're at is. All right, so 안녕하세요 is hello. And you could also start your introduction by saying 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. If you break down the grammar, it literally means meet, like I meet you. So 반갑습니다, I'm happy. So it's like saying happy to meet you or nice to meet you. 만나서 반갑습니다. Or you can also remove 만나서 and just say 반갑습니다. 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 Nice to meet you. So this is how you can start your introduction. And after you're done greeting, most of the time we say our name first, right? And there are 3 main ways you can say your name. The first one being the simplest one. You can simply say 저는. 저 means I, and 는 is a topic marker, a topic marking particle. So in this sentence, when you're introducing yourself, I am the topic, right? So this is the topic marker. So 저는, it literally means as for me. As for me, 저는, and you put your name and then you add 입니다. 여기서, so let's look at the grammar of 입니다 first, guys. 입니다. 일단은 입니다 is the combination of 이다 verb plus 비읍 씁니다. 비읍 씁니다. And therefore, the final form becomes 입니다. And 이다 is a verb that is always followed by a noun. And it means something is a noun. It cannot be used for something is adjective. We have another form for adjective. Adjective is a separate entity, separate element in and of itself. But 이다 means be, and it be as in is, am, are, and it can only be followed by noun. So when you say I am your name is a noun, right? So that's why we use this verb. So this literally means 저는 am name. I am name. So this is the most simplest form you can use. So my English name is Vicky. So as for me, I can say 저는 비키입니다. 저는 비키입니다. 근데 here's the thing, guys. If you have a foreign name, and that's not, a usual name, then Korean people might have a hard time understanding, hearing your name. So I recommend that if you have a foreign name, which is most of you guys, if you're not Korean, you have a foreign name, right? I recommend that you don't use this one and use this one instead, because these two more clearly indicate that your name is this, whereas this could be used for anything. I am anything, more than just your name. 그렇기 때문에 people will go like, huh? What did he just say? What did he say he is? Was that his name? Was that his job? People could get confused if your name is, not a conventional name. 그렇기 때문에 I recommend using these two more often for your name. 일단은 그러면 let's move on to the next two ways to say your name. You can say 제 이름은, so 제, to break down 제 means, 제 is a shortened form of 저의, and it means my. So either you say 제 or 저의, they both mean my, and 이름 means name. 그래서 제 이름, sorry, 제 이름, my name, and 입니다. We just learned that this is a to be verb that's followed by a noun, right? That follows a noun, right? That follows a noun. Sorry, that would be a more grammatically correct way to say it. That follows a noun. So my name is this. 제 이름은 now your name입니다. And this 은 is also a topping marker, guys. Topping marker. And I forgot to put it here in this grammar section, but basically 은 and 는 both are topping markers, and it's used after a noun that functions as a topic, as a main topic of the sentence. And when the noun ends in vowel, you add 는. You mark it with 는. If the noun ends in consonant, final consonant, you mark it with 은. 그래서 제 이름은, my name is blank. You can say this. Or here's a more native way. I would say when Korean people introduce their names, 60 to 70% of people use this expression. And this is 저는 I, as for me, your name이라고 합니다. Your name이라고 합니다. So to break down the grammar of this expression, guys, it comes from this one, 이라고 하다. So we're not going to go into grammatical details because this 라고 grammar is actually for high beginner level or intermediate. So I don't want to confuse you guys by dissecting them grammatically specifically. But you can just think of it as to say, 잠깐만요. Literally, it means to say that, or to say noun, or to call something or somebody noun. So by saying 저는 noun이라고 합니다, which is a combination of 이라고 하다 plus 피읍니다. It means as for me, people call me this name. So I go by this name, or my name is this, basically. So 저는 your name이라고 합니다. The reason why E is in parenthesis is because if your name ends in vowel, like Vicky ends in vowel, right? In that case, you don't have to write E 안 써도 돼요. You don't have to write E. You can just say Vicky라고 합니다. But if your name, let's say, ends in a vowel, let's say your name is Tom, this name ends in consonant, right? If it ends in consonant, you add E. You add this extra E, and say 톰이라고 합니다. 이라고 합니다. 그러면 여러분, can you try saying your name using either one of these two? 여러분, 이름을 말해주세요. Can you say your name in Korean? You could either speak it out loud. In that case, I wouldn't be able to hear you, but at least you're doing your practice. And if you can also feel free to write it in the chat comment. 어디 봅시다. 사바라고 합니다. Perfect. 좋아요. 사바, the name 사바 ends in a vowel. So you can say 라고 합니다. not 이라고 합니다. 좋아요. 그리고 키스라고 합니다. 좋아요. 키스라고 합니다. 저는 오웬님이라고 합니다. 오웬님 좋아요. 근데 이제 님은 we don't really use it for our own name. 님 is not really used for ourselves. It's used for referring to another person. So you can just say 저는 오웬이라고 합니다. Unless your name really is 오웬님, like 오웬님 itself is your name, that would be fine. 그 다음에 Trevor이라고 합니다. 좋아요. 타빈다라고 합니다. 탈리아라고 합니다. 마디라고 합니다. 발리아나 오케이 좋아요. 아냐라고 합니다. 그 다음에 렌시라고 합니다. Alright, 좋아요. 다 잘했어요. 그 다음에 so now that we're done learning how to say our name properly in introduction, let's move on to our 국적, nationality. Nationality. So actually, I attached the file of the list of countries in Korean on my website. And the thing about that is I uploaded it 2 years ago and it needs more updates, guys. And not every single country in the world is included. But I couldn't find the original file that I can actually add it. So I haven't been able to make revisions yet. I have received some request of could you please add my country, blah, 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 blah. But I couldn't because I couldn't find the original file. But I will try to fix it. I will try to revise some of them if I can manage to find it. But here's another alternative, guys. If you want to know what your country's name is in Korean, you can always go to this Naver dictionary. Oops. Naver dictionary. It's dict.naver.com. You go there and you can look up your country name. For example, if you're from France, you can type France. And then here it says 프랑스. So you can learn that your country name is 프랑스. So feel free to look it up on the dictionary, guys. And let's go back. So to say where you're from, it's very simple in Korean. We just say you are a country name, your country name, 사람입니다. 사람 means a person. So it literally means you are a country person you are the country person. So let's look at some of the example sentences. My purple love 님은 파키스탄 사람입니다. 좋아요. she or he is from Pakistan. 좋아요. 그리고 wow, 요르단 사람입니다. Rami님 is from Jordan. Wow, that's interesting. 그다음에 사바님은 인도 사람입니다. 좋아요. 인도, India. He is Indian. 그다음에 저는 필리핀 사람입니다. 알미님은 Philippines. Oh, you're from the Philippines. 좋아요. 그 다음에 LL님은 인도네시아 사람입니다. She's from Indonesia. He or she. Sorry about the pronouns. I'll just say they. 다음에 Salty Sugar님 is from India. Mad님은 American, 미국 사람입니다. 오케이, 좋아요. So this is one way you can say it. Or you can also say country name 인입니다. In also means a person, but the difference between 사람 and in is that in is a Sino-Korean word that comes from this Chinese character, which means a person. This character actually looks like a person, right? A person's legs walking. So I'm sure that would be a really good way to memorize this 한자, this Chinese character. But anyways, you can also say country name in. So for example, I am a Korean person. I'm Korean. So I can say either 저는 한국 사람. Let me use a different pen. 저는 한국 사람입니다. I could say I'm a 한국 사람. Or I could say I'm a 한국인입니다. 그리고 르시엔님 미국인입니다. 좋아요. 그리고 콜롬비아인입니다. 좋아요. I'm from Colombia. When you're using in, you have to attach both your country and the character. So there's no space in between. But when it comes to 사람, you have to put space in between when writing, when in written form. All right. So that's how you can say where you're from, like your nationality. 그리고 and here's the thing about this expression, guys. So this is also another expression that you can use to say you are from this country. However, this one, okay, so let's break it down first, guys. Country name 에서 왔습니다. So this 에서 has multiple meanings, but in this context, it means from. 그리고 오다, 왔습니다 is a combination of the verb 오다's past tense plus 습니다. So since 오다 means come, 왔습니다 means came, right? So it literally means I came from the country name. But it can only be used when you are in Korea away from your home country. So it has to fit the literal meaning. You came to Korea from your homeland. So for example, we're having an online class right now. So some of you might be in Korea, but I'm sure many of you are attending this class in your own home countries. In that case, saying this country에서 왔어요 would be incorrect because you're not in Korea right now, right? So you can simply say, the country name 인입니다 or country name 사람입니다. But let's say you are a foreign student studying in Korea at like a language school, then you can say, this country에서 왔어요 or 에서 왔습니다 because you have left your home country and you came to Korea. You're currently in Korea. So, 좋아요. I see a couple of you guys already in Korea. 파키스탄에서 왔어요. Okay, 좋아요. 그리고 아르헨티나에서 왔어요. You're from Argentina. So you guys are in Korea. 좋아요. 그리고 빌리아나님, 저는 크로아티아계 호주 사람입니다. 맞아요. 이런 식으로 해도 돼요. Your ethnicity, 계 by adding 계. This is a little advanced, so I'm not going to get into details. But basically, what 빌리아나님 is saying here is that she is Croatian Australian. 그 다음에 맞아요. 지금 집에 있습니다. 그리고 장민님 인도에서 왔어요. 아 진짜요? 장민님도 지금 한국에 있구나. 지금 한국에 있군요. Alright, 좋아요. 그러면 now that we learned how to say your name and your nationality, you can say basic information about yourself in your introduction, right? For example, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 저는 비키입니다. 그리고 한국 사람입니다. So you guys can understand these basic information about myself. But let's go further and combine 저는 비키입니다 and 한국 사람입니다. So it is okay to separate these sentences, right? There's no problem at all. Grammatically, semantically, no problem at all. But we want to make our sentences more neat. The neater, the better, and shorter, the better, always, right? So let's try adding and between the two sentences and make these two one. You can say 저는 비키. So basically you combine 이다 verb and the sentence connector that means and, which is 그리고. And when these two are combined, you can just take 이 from 이다 verb and 고 from 그리고. 그래서 it becomes 이고, 저는 비키이고 한국 사람, and then you move on to the next sentence. 한국 사람입니다. 네, 이렇게 하면 돼요. 한국 사람입니다. 그래서 you can say your name first and then connect it with 이고 and say whatever extra information you want to add. 저는 비키이고 한국 사람입니다. 이런 식으로. 그리고 아까 보시면 사바님, 예를 들어 사바님 can say 저는 사바이고 인도 사람입니다. Or 인도에서 왔습니다 if you are in Korea, right? 그런 식으로 할 수 있어요. So try to make the most of this 이고, guys. 이고. It's very convenient. Like you don't have to say two sentences. You can just combine these two sentences all together just by using 이고, and it makes your sentence much neater, and actually it's easier to say because it's shorter. 그리고 저는 아나이고 인도네시아 사람입니다. Perfect. 네, 이런 식으로 할 수 있습니다. 그 다음에 let's move on to speaking about our job, what we do. So I'm aware that some of you might be working and some of you might be studying and some of you might be in the middle. You're neither working nor studying. So I prepared a Korean lesson for all those sections, all those scenarios. So let's start from when you work. So likewise, I attached the file list of jobs in Korean on my website. You can find it in the link in the description box. But since there are so many diverse occupations in the world, uh, the probability of you finding your specific job in this file is quite low, right? Because there are so many jobs. So I recommend that you guys search for your occupation name in Korean directly on Naver Dictionary, like I suggested in the country name. So, for example, if your job is, let's say, a doctor, then you can always type doctor, and the dictionary will tell you, oh, it's 의사. It's usually the first thing that comes up, the first result that comes up on the dictionary. So feel free to use the dictionary. And so it's very simple. Saying your job is very simple. You can say 제 직업은. So 제, we learned what 제 is, right? It's shortened form of 저의, which means my. So 저의 직업은 my job. 직업 means job, guys. My job, topping marker, 입니다, is your job name. So it's pretty much the same structure as 제 이름은 blank입니다, right? So it's very simple. something은 입니다. 그래서 let's say 학생들이 많네요. I see that a lot of you guys are a student. 학생이네요. Okay, there you go. There's an interesting job here. 루미님, 영어 선생님입니다. Yes, this is a perfect way to say your job. 제 직업은, my job is, 영어 means English, 선생님 means teacher. So, 루미님 is an English teacher. Wow, okay, 좋아요. So you're an English teacher from Jordan. Nice to know, nice to know. 그 다음에 또 일하시는 분 있어요? Are there any of you guys who has a job? And could you type maybe what your job is in Korean in the comment section, in the chat section? 회사원. 키스님은 좋아요. 회사원입니다. This is also a good word. 회사 means company. 원, and 회사원 is like you are a worker, company worker. So you're an employee. You work at a company. You have an office job. 이런 뜻입니다. 회사원. 좋아요. 그 다음에 I think you're trying to say you are 은행원. So you work at a bank, right? 은행원. In that case, you can say 은행. 은행 means bank. 은행원. Basically, you are a staff at a bank. So you work at a bank. 은행원입니다. 그리고 wow, this is also interesting. 제 직업은 약사입니다. So she's a pharmacist. 약 means medicine. 사 is like a person. So she's a person that engages with medicine. So she's a pharmacist. That's an interesting job. 그리고 빌리아나님은 요양보호사였는데 지금은 주부입니다. Okay, 좋아요. This is a really advanced sentence. A little advanced for beginner, but okay, I see. 그리고 번역가. You're a translator. LL님은 translator입니다. 그리고 루나님, 제 직업은 영어. I think you meant to say 영어 번역가, right? 왜냐하면 번역기 means you are a machine translator, like Google translator. But I know you're a person, so you are a 영어 번역가. 그리고 you're a public servant, female님. 공무원 is a public servant. You work for the government. 좋아요. 그리고 제 직업은 starving artist. 굶주리는 예술가입니다. That's a very creative. That's a very interesting profession. 좋아요. 그리고 지금급 리더입니다. 의사도 있네요. 진짜요? 와우, 의사. Respect. So much respect for doctors out there. 그리고 alright. Okay, 컴퓨터 그래픽스를 가르치는 사람입니다. Alright, so that's how you can say your job. This is the most simple, easiest ways you can say your job. 그리고 if you don't want to specify what you are, but more where you work, you can also say name of your company or workplace에서 일합니다. So 에서 in this context means in or at. In or at. And 일합니다 is a combination of 일하다, which means to work, and 비읍 받침니다. So it means you work at that place. You work at that place. So if you work at a hospital, for example, you can say 뭐 병원에서 일합니다. 병원에서 일합니다. If you work at a factory, you could say 공장. 공장 means factory. 공장에서 일합니다. If you work at, you could also specify your company name. Like for example, if you work at a Samsung, let's say, 삼성에서 you work at Samsung, 일합니다. You could say like this. 그리고 아르미님은 이제 영어 선생님이니까 yes, of course, she works at 학교. 저는 학교에서 일합니다. 그렇죠. 학교도 있을 수 있죠. 그리고 another way you can say is 일하고 있습니다. So they basically mean the same thing. 일합니다 and 일하고 있습니다. But this 일하고 있습니다 is a combination of 일하다, the verb that means to work, and 고 있다, which makes the verb into a present progressive. And then you add 습니다. So 일하고 있습니다 is a combination of working, 습니다. So basically it's a present progressive, so it means you're working at this place. So they're interchangeably used when you mean present progressive, either 일합니다 or 일하고 있습니다. 그래서 verb 고 있다, we just learned this grammar, which means present progressive. 그리고 트래버님은 슈퍼마켓에서 일합니다. 오, 오케이, 좋아요. Marshmallow 집에서 일합니다. Dream job. She works at home. 좋아요. 그 다음에 Mads님은 you work at a university. 대학교에서 일하고 있습니다. Alright, 좋아요. 그렇게 할 수 있고요. 그 다음에 let's move on to when you are a student. If you're a student, you can first start by saying 저는 학생입니다. Basically, I am a 학생, a student. So if you don't want to specify what type of student you are, then you can just say 저는 학생입니다. It would perfectly deliver the fact that you are studying right now. You're not working, you're studying. 근데 if you want to specify what type of student you are, whether you are 초등학생, elementary school student, basically. So 학생 means student, so it's like elementary student. 중학생 means middle school student. Elementary student. 그리고 고등학생 means high school student. And 대학생 means university student. 그리고 대학원생 means you're a grad school student. So you can say that. 그리고 salty님은 대학생입니다. So you're 대학생. Alright, 좋아요. You're a university student. 좋습니다. 그리고 그다음에 제 전공은 major입니다. 제 전공은, and you can also, so you can start by saying you're a student and then you can move on to what you major, right? So the simplest way to say what my major is literally 제 전공은, my major. So you guys can figure out that 전공 means major. Oh, guys, and the reason I put parenthesis in 제 is because you can remove 제. You can remove my. So in 제 직업은 I also put it in the parenthesis, and it's because 제 is removable. Because usually not usually, but in self-introduction, you say what your name is first, right? So in the next sentences, it's clear. It's obvious that you're talking about your own job. So you don't have to say my. You don't have to specify my job is. You can just say job is, because only by saying that it's already clear that it is your job. Same with 제 전공. You can just say 전공은. As for my major, it's your major name입니다. Major name입니다. A lot of major name have 학 in it. 학. 학 comes from this Chinese character, which means like learn, study. 그래서, for example, if you say your major is linguistics, we say it's a language study. So 언어 means language, 학 means study. So it's a language study as in linguistics. 언어학을, 제 전공은 언어학입니다. My major is linguistics. If you major in psychology, we add 심리, which means psychology, and then 학. So basically, 학 is added to indicate that you're talking about the study, the specific field of study. 그리고 if you, what are your majors, guys? Can you tell me what are your majors? If you major in philosophy, you can say 철학. If you're major in engineering, 공학, medicine, 의학, education, 교육학. When it comes to art, like art and music, you don't have to add 학. For art and music, you just say piano, or like design. So yeah, you can say that. 제 전공은 피아노입니다. My major is piano. 제 전공은 디자인입니다. My major is design. 그리고 사바님 전공이 영어예요. 오, 오케이, 좋아요. 그리고 제 전공은 컴퓨터 공학. 진짜요? Computer Science 좋아요. 그리고 저는 대학생입니다. 제 전공은 회계입니다. Accountants. Okay, you're accounting. Alright, 좋아요. 그 다음에 geography. geography는 지리학이라고 해요. 지리 means geography, and by adding 학, you indicate that it's your field of study. So 지리학이 전공이고, 알미님은 홍콩에서 일하고, 그리고 business 맞아요. business. A lot of you guys are business majors. business는 경영학이라고 합니다. 경영학, literally a study of management. 경영학. business 전공하는구나. 맞아. 매즈님은 의학 전공하죠. 그렇죠. 영화 작곡입니다. Wow, that's such an interesting field of study. That's why you say you're a starving artist, right? 영화 작곡이 아니라 영화 directing, right? 영화 제작. 아니면은 we also say 연출. If you're a director directing a movie, we say 연출. So you can say 연출을 공부하고 있습니다. 그런 식으로 할 수 있습니다. Alright. 그리고 another way you can say what your major is by saying your major name 을을 is an object marker. And so since this is an object of a sentence, it has to be followed by a transitive verb. So 공부하다 means to study. So you're saying you study this major. Very simple, right? major name을 공부합니다. Or you can also use it with present progressive and say 공부하고 있다. 공부하고 있습니다. Oops, maybe I should change the color. 있습니다. 그리고 마찬가지로 you can also use the verb 전공하다, which is a verb that means to major. 그래서 전공, you can also say 전공하고 있습니다. something을 전공하고 있습니다. 그리고 연극 영화과, 연극, I think you mean 연극, theater, 맞아요. 연극 영화과. Usually people, usually aspiring actors major in this study. 연극 영화. 좋아요. Alright, so that's how you can say your major. 그 다음에, let's say you neither work nor study. Then you can talk about your dream instead. 네, dream 얘기하면 되죠, 그쵸? You can say 제 꿈은, or you could also remove 제 because as we learned, it's obvious that we're talking about my dream. 그렇기 때문에 그냥 꿈은 my dream, your job name입니다. Or you could also say 저는 job name이가 되고 싶습니다. So this is a rather more layered sentence. So let's break it down first. 일단은 if you say noun 이가 되다. So 되다 means to become. To become. And when you say noun 이 or 가 되다, it means to become noun. To become noun. And one thing to note about this verb is that it always has to be followed by 이가, not 은는 or 을을. Not 을을. It has to be followed by 이가. So if you want to say you want to become an actor, for example, you have to say, if you say to become an actor, we say 배우 means an actor. So 배우, 가, since 배우 ends in vowel, we have to add 가. If the noun ends in consonant, you should be adding 이. But 배우 ends in vowel, so that's why we put 가. So 배우가 되다 means to become an actor. If you want to say you want to become a writer, for example, you can say, oh no, let's use the one that has consonant in it this time. You could say, what is a job that ends in consonant? 선생님. If you want to be a teacher, 선생님 means teacher, and 선생님이 되다 means to become a teacher, and this time we added 이 because 선생님 ends in consonant. And verb 고 싶다. So this 싶다 is conjugated to 싶어요. So we'll learn the conjugated form instead. So verb 고 싶어요. This means you want to do verb. You want to do verb. So if you want to say I want to become an actor, you can combine this verb 배우가 되다, and this is what you want to do. 고 싶어요. 배우가 되고 싶어요. It means I want to become an actor. Oh, the same works for I want to become a teacher. I want to be a teacher when I grow up. You can say 선생님이. You can bring the same verb. 선생님이 되고 싶어요. 그리고 티샤님은 I want to become a K-pop idol. 좋아요. You can just say 아이돌이 되고 싶어요. In Korean, we just say 아이돌. If we say 아이돌, it means you are a K-pop idol. This is the person that, sings and dances in a group singing all these K-pop songs. 아이돌이 되고 싶어요. You can say 아이돌이 되고 싶어요. 아이돌이 되고 싶어요, right? 그리고 장민님은 번역가가 되고 싶어요. You want to become a translator. 좋아요. 의사가 되고 싶어요. 맞아요. 왜냐하면 마지님은 studies medicine. 그리고 회사원이 되고 싶어요. You want to work at an office. You want to be an office worker. 좋아요. 아주 좋아요. 그리고 비키 선생님의 꿈은 뭐예요? 이거는 이따가 알려드릴게요. When we get to intermediate level, I'll let you know. 그 다음에, alright. 좋아요. 그리고 so that's how you can say it. Say your name. Say your dream. 그리고 you can also just say, I don't have a job. In that case, you can say 직업, we learn it means job. 직업이 없어요. And this means you don't have a job. 일단은 let's learn the grammar behind this expression. 직업이 없어요. If you say something 이 or 가 있다, it means you have something. So 있다 always means something is there. Like it's always positive. It is there, or you have something. Whereas 없다 is always negative. There is none, or you don't have. And note that just like 되다, 있다, and 없다 is also followed by 이가 particle, not 을을 particle. So if you say 직업이, since 직업 ends in 받침, we add 이, 직업이 있어요. This means you have a job. You have a job. 직업이 없어요 means you don't have a job. 없다 is conjugated to 없어요. 있다 is conjugated to 있어요. 그래서 you can say 직업이 없어요. If you want to add yet, you can say 아직 직업이 없어요. 아직 직업이 없어요. So you can say 아직 직업이 없어요. I don't have a job yet. 근데 but 저는 뭐 아이돌이 되고 싶어요. But I want to become like a K-pop idol. You can say it like that. So that's how you can say what you do or what you study. And the next element is talking about what you like. 좋아하는 거. 좋아하는 걸 말할 수 있어요. 좋아하는 거. You can talk about what you like. And it's very simple. You can use the verb 좋아하다, which means to like. 좋아하다 means to like. And you can use it. So 좋아하다 is a transitive verb. So you have to make sure to use 을을 particle, talking about what you like. But if you're so concerned about particles, it's also an option to just remove it. If it's so confusing, just remove it and just use noun and verb. That's also another option. 그래서 let's say you like cooking. You can say 요리. 요리 means cooking. 요리를 좋아합니다. 요리를 좋아합니다. 요리를 좋아합니다. 이렇게 말할 수 있고, if you like animals, you can say 동물, animals, 동물을 좋아합니다. 동물을 좋아합니다. 그리고 if you like traveling, you can say 여행, 여행을 좋아합니다. So basically, you can talk about whatever you like, whatever noun you like with this expression. 그래서 this is such a sweet one. 비키쌤을 좋아합니다. 너무 좋은 sentence. It's such a perfect, wonderful sentence. 비키쌤 좋아합니다. Such a good taste. 그 다음에 한국어를 좋아합니다. 좋아요. You like Korean. 그것도 괜찮아요. 그리고 노래를 좋아합니다. 좋아요. You like songs. 뭐 음악을 좋아합니다 would also be another way to say the same thing. You could also like 음악, right? 음악, music. Alright. 그리고 BTS 좋아하시는구나. K-드라마. You could say 한국 드라마. You can just say Korea drama. 한국 드라마. 네, 한국 드라마. 근데 K-드라마 요즘에는 these days K something has become such a prevalent word even in Korea. So everybody will understand it what you mean by K-드라마. But 한국 드라마가 좀 더 proper word인 것 같아요. 진짜요? 무서운 영화 좋아해요? You like scary movie? You like horror films? 저는 완전 안 좋아해요. 저는 무서운 영화 못 봐요. I mean, I like thrillers. And I like mystery, like crime mystery, those kind of thing I enjoy watching, but I cannot watch horror films that feature ghosts in it. I just can't. 너무 무서워요. 그리고 사진을 좋아합니다. Photos. 좋아요. 좋아요. 그리고 you could also add something like 가장 or 제일, which means the most, to talk about what you like the most. 뭐뭐를 제일 좋아합니다. 그리고 if you want to be more specific, so this is a rather advanced grammar, but I included it anyway because I'm not going to dissect it like in detail, but you can just memorize it, right? That's still a way to learn a language, memorizing it and using it. 일단은 볼게요. If you say verb, I'll just explain briefly, like the grammar behind it. So verb, to make a verb into a noun form. So for example, in English, you say to learn, right? To learn is a verb. And to make it into a noun, you can just add ing, learning. Learning becomes a noun. And speak as well. This is a verb. To make it into a noun, you say speaking, and this becomes a noun. So 는 것 works. 는 것 has that function. It turns a verb into a noun by adding the stem of the verb with 는 것. 는 것. And the reason why it's 걸 and not 것 is because 것 and 을 좋아합니다 is combined. 여기서 when we say something을 좋아합니다, it means you like something, right? And this 것 means thing, literally. 것 and 을 combined can be shortened to 걸. That's why the final form is 는 걸. Verb, 는 걸 좋아합니다. 그래서 you could talk about any activities that you like. 오, 좋아요. 드라마 보는 거 좋아합니다. 드라마 보는 걸 좋아합니다. She likes 드라마 보다 means to watch. So watching drama 는 걸 좋아합니다. You like watching drama. Alright, 좋아요. 아주 좋아요. 는 걸 좋아합니다. 그리고 한국어를 이것도 너무 좋네요. 한국어를 배우다. That's what we're doing right now, right? 한국어 배우다. Make it into a noun. 배우는 걸 좋아합니다. 한국어 배우는 걸 좋아합니다. Alright. 그렇게. 그리고 you like needling. Wow. 저는 바느질하는 걸 좋아합니다. Alright. 좋아요. 좋아합니다. 그렇게 쓸 수 있어요. 그래서 that's how you can express what you like. 그리고 장미님, 음악 듣는 거 좋아요. 음악 듣다 means to listen to music. So 장미님, also a good sentence. 음악 듣는 걸 좋아합니다. 오, interesting hobby. 농구 경기 보는 걸 좋아합니다. 농구, basketball, 경기, match, 보다, watching. You like watching basketball match. 오, 그리고 루미님은 책을 읽는 걸 좋아합니다. 좋아요. 책을 읽다, to read a book. 책을 읽는 걸 좋아합니다. 여기서 사실 그 책을 읽다, or 책을 읽는 것, there is one specific verb one noun word that you can use in place of 책을 읽는 것, which is 독서. 독서 is a Sino-Korean word that literally means reading book. So you can also say 독서를 좋아합니다. 독서를 좋아합니다. And 책을 읽는 걸 좋아합니다. Both mean the same thing. Alright. So that's how you can express what you like. 그 다음에 as for 마무리 인사, closing remarks, the most common one is, well, not the most common one, but one of the common ones is saying thank you, right? After you're done introducing yourself, you say thank you. You say either 고맙습니다 or 좋아합니다. I'm sorry. 감사합니다. 감사합니다 and 고맙습니다. 그리고 the second most common closing remark, actually, I think this is the most common closing remarks of self-introduction. So 잘 부탁드립니다. 잘 부탁드립니다. 이거는요, to break it down, this 부탁, this 부탁 comes from the verb 부탁하다, which means to ask a favor. 그리고 부탁하다's honorific form, even more politer form is 부탁드리다, which means the same thing, to ask a favor. And 잘 means well. So it literally means you're asking a good favor. You ask a good favor. So specifically, what favor are we asking? And that depends on where you are. Like, is it at work? Is it school? A circle? A club? If it's at work, for example, it's like, I ask you a good favor to consider me a good coworker or a good employee. If it's at school, it's like, I ask you a good favor to consider me a good classmate, a good student. So English, this is like saying, I look forward to working with you, or I look forward to getting along with you. 잘 부탁드립니다. This is the phrase that encompasses everything in that line. So, 잘 부탁드립니다 is a very common way to close your self-introduction. 잘 부탁드립니다. 그리고 you can also say 만나서 반갑습니다, not at the front, not at the greeting part, but at the closing remarks part. That's also fine. Because in English as well, you can say nice to meet you before you introduce yourself or after you introduce yourself. Everything's all right, right? Both make sense. Both are seamless, so that's okay. 그리고 언어를 배우는 걸 좋아합니다를 2번 사용했는데 괜찮아요. Yes, it's perfectly fine. No problem at all. All right, so that's how you can say your closing remarks. So with everything we learned, I'm sure you guys can understand my version of self-introduction that I did at the front, right? At the beginning. 안녕하세요. 저는 Vicky라고 하고 I'm Vicky. My name is Vicky and 한국 사람입니다. I'm a Korean person. I'm Korean. 직업은 my job. 한국어 선생님입니다. Korean teacher. 고양이를 제일 좋아합니다. Cats I like the most. 제일. 잘 부탁드립니다. Like I look forward to getting along with you. I look forward to like having fun at class. Something like that, right? Alright, 그러면요. 여러분, let's move on to the fun part. I'm so excited about this part. 여기서 일단 I brought some of the clips from the K-drama or Korean TV series on Netflix called 1920, and we'll listen to some of the versions of self-introduction by all these students. And these are the clips. One thing to note is that the introductions in these clips are done in 반말. You guys know what 존댓말 and 반말 is, right? 존댓말 is the polite speech and 반말 is the casual speech. Because the setting of this series is a high school classroom. And in Korean, like elementary, middle, and high school students, you know, in those schools, students of same age are usually in the same class, right? So even if they met for the first time, like even if they just met, it's common to use 반말 because they already know that they're of same age and that they will be spending a lot of time together as classmates. So in school setting, like elementary, middle, and high schools, using 반말 among friends is most common. So in this clips, they're using 반말. So let's check out some of the transitions from 존댓말 to 반말 so that you guys are not confused while listening. So, 안녕하세요. We learned 안녕하세요, right? 안녕하세요. For 안녕하세요, hello, you can just say 안녕. 그리고 반갑습니다. You can just say 반가워. 그리고 저, which means I, becomes 나. 그리고 제 or 저의, which means my, becomes 내 or 나의. I think the pen is too thick. Maybe I should use the pencil. 그리고 입니다. We learned that this is a be verb, right? 입니다 it becomes 이야 or 야. So if the noun ends in a consonant, you add 이야. If the noun ends in a vowel, you add 야. 그리고 so 입니다 does not get affected by the form of noun that precedes, right? But as for 이야 and 야, it does. 그리고 존댓말 has 습니다 ending or 요 ending, but 반말 does not have sentence endings. 그리고 잘 부탁드립니다 becomes 잘 부탁해. 그리고 saying thank you becomes 고마워. So with that in mind, let's try listening. Guys. 일단은 So I've created like the fill in the blank format to encourage you guys to focus more on listening. So try filling in the blanks as you listen, guys. The thing is, there's a subtitle on the screen. 잠깐만요. Oh, it's this one. There's a subtitle on the screen, guys, but try not to look at the screen, at least at first try, and just focus on listening, all right? Do you guys have your worksheet with you? 잠깐만요. 제가 이걸 가렸는데, so even if I don't have it up, have the screen up, I'm sure you guys can. 잠깐만요. 일단은 or maybe 어떻게 하지 이거를? 잠깐만요. Maybe I will reduce the size of the screen. Hold on, guys. Give me a moment. Trying to see. Oh, okay. I could maybe. All right. Maybe put it here and the video here. All right. Let's take a listen. 한번 들어볼게요, 여러분. 일단은 안녕, 나는 노희지라고 하고 Let's hear from 희지 first.
안녕, 나는 노이지라고 하고 나는 운동 좋아하고 꿈은 필라테스 강사야.
희지가 뭐라고 했죠? 나는 노희지라고 하고 That's her name. 나는 노희지라고 하고 그리고 Did you guys hear what she likes? 나는 blank 좋아하고 blank 좋아하고
나는 운동 좋아하고
She said 나는 운동 좋아하고 She said she likes 운동. 운동 could mean working out, but it could mean all kinds of sports activities. So it's either workout or sports activities. 그리고 what about her 꿈? 꿈은 뭐래요?
꿈은 필라테스 강사야.
꿈은 필라테스 강사래요. 강사. 아이고, 여기 조금 강사야. 필라테스 강사야. 여러분 혹시 필라테스가 뭔지 아세요? Can you guess what 필라테스 is? 필라테스는 필라테스란 뜻이에요. 필라테스. 그리고 강사 also means teacher. 강사. 근데 you might question what is the difference between 강사 and 선생님. 근데 이제 선생님 also a teacher, 강사 is also a teacher, but 선생님 is a broader term for teacher and it encompasses educators in both public and private education. On the other hand, 강사 is often referred to it often refers to instructors outside public education, such as those in private schools or freelance educators. And Pilates is something that's usually not a school subject, right? No schools teach Pilates. So Pilates instructors are usually business owners. So they are not private educators or private sectors. So you can use 강사. 필라테스 선생님도 괜찮아요 because 선생님 is a broader term that encompasses all kinds of education. But 강사 is more specifically for private sectors. 필라테스 강사야. And then she finishes her self-introduction by saying 잘 부탁해. 잘 부탁드립니다. 반말 form. 그 다음에 let's move on to 지민이 보겠습니다.
안녕, 나는
아니다. I think I mixed up the order. Let's hear from 서현이 first. 서현. It's 서현's turn.
이름 최서현이고 좋아하는 거는 패스트푸드 좋아하고 꿈은 건축가야.
그래서 나는 이름은 최서현이고 rather than saying 내 이름은 she says 나는 이름은 and that's fine. It's like saying as for me the name is this and I like this and as for my dream it's this. So her name is 최서현. 그리고 she likes fast food. 패스트푸드 좋아하고 Did you guys catch what her dream was?
건축가야.
건축가야. 내 꿈은 건축가야. 꿈은 건축가라고 했어요. It's an architect. She would like to be an architect. 건축가야. 건축가. 그 다음에 I think the next one is it
아이고, 잘
안녕.
그 다음에 지민이다. Let's hear from 지민이. 지민이는 뭐라고 하는지 볼게요. Let's hear what 지민 says.
내 이름은 이지민이고 현재 내 전공은 태권도야. 내가 좋아하는 거는 음식. 스테이크를 제일 좋아해.
So, did you guys hear what his major was? 내 이름은 이지민이고 안녕. 내
이름은 이지민이고 현재 내 전공은 태권도야.
현재 내 전공은 태권도야. Do you guys remember what 전공 meant? 전공? 전공은 major라는 뜻입니다. Major. So, 내 전공, my major is taekwondo. It's taekwondo. So, 운동. It's part of 운동, right? 내 전공은 태권도야. 그리고 아이고. He says 내가 좋아하는
거는 음식.
내가 좋아하는 건 what I like. 음식 그리고 스테이크를 제일 좋아해. 스테이크를 제일 좋아해. 스테이크를 제일 좋아해. Steak means steak, the food. 제일 무슨 뜻일까요? 제일. Do you guys remember what 제일 was? 제일. It means the most, right? So he likes food and steak is what he likes the most. 스테이크를 제일 좋아해. 그리고 이제 마지막으로 for last part, 지우. Let's hear from 지우, guys. 지우.
내 이름은 정지우이고 나의 꿈은 승무원이야. 그리고 내가 좋아하는 건 축구 보는 걸 좋아하고 그리고 싫어하는 건 없어.
안녕, 나는
들었나요, 여러분? 나의 꿈은 Did you guys hear what her dream was? 안녕, 나는 정지우이고 나의 꿈은 다시 볼게요.
나의 꿈은 승무원이야.
나의 꿈은 승무원이야. 그렇죠, 승무원. 승무원은 It means flight attendant. 맞아요, 키스님. Flight attendant라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 승무원 is a highly esteemed, highly regarded job, especially among females in Korea. 네, 승무원이 굉장히 좋은 직업으로 한국에서 이제 여겨지고 있습니다. 그 다음에 뭘 좋아한다고 했죠? What does she like, guys?
그리고 내가 좋아하는 건 축구 보는 걸 좋아하고
축구 보는 걸 좋아한대요. 축구 보는 거. So 축구 means soccer or football in proper English. Soccer and football. 그래서 축구 보다 하면은 축구 경기 보다랑 똑같아요. 축구 경기를 보다. To watch soccer match. And if you want to say you play soccer, not watch soccer, you play soccer, you can just say 축구하다. 축구하다. Literally to do a soccer. So 축구 보는 걸 좋아하고 she emphasizes 축구 보다 because not 축구하다. It's not that she plays soccer, but she watches soccer. 축구 보는 걸 좋아하고 그다음에
그리고 싫어하는 건 없어.
Did you guys hear the last part? 싫어하는 건 blank. 싫어하는 건 뭐래요? 싫어하는 건 없어라고 했어요. 들었어요? 없어. 싫어하는 건 없어. 없다. We learned that 없다 means not. There is no. So 싫어하는 거 I don't like, I don't hate anything basically. Alright. 그 다음에 what is the difference between 것 and 걸? So this is something that we covered in the previous part. 걸 is the combination of 것 and the object marker 을. That is the difference. NB님, 잠깐만요. What's wrong with this? 왜 안 없어지지? 잠깐만요. How weird. This comment keeps hanging on my mouse. It's so weird. 잠깐만요. 됐다. Alright. So that was it for the K-drama listening part. And finally, we're gonna move on to intermediate. Intermediate로 넘어가 볼게요. 일단은 let's make this bigger again. 됐나? 조금 더 little more. There you go. And put it back on. All right, so let's move on to intermediate part. 일단은 so for intermediate level, guys, I'll help you guys add more details and layers to your introduction beyond just one-dimensional sentences. We'll also be using many different, not many, but several different conjunctions to seamlessly connect longer sentences, which will make your speech sound more fluid and less rigid overall. So it's not recommended to overuse the conjunctions, of course, but using them moderately as needed will add a natural feel to your language, guys. So the first three element works pretty much the same as what we learned in the beginner part. So in the introduction section, we will skip these part and focus on number 4, 5, 6, 7. 일단은 let's first check out the example introduction by myself, and this is a self-introduction of me. And while I read it out, you guys can fill in the blank with the word that you hear. Fill in each blank with the word that you hear. You can fill it directly on the worksheet, or if you're more comfortable typing, then you can type your answer in the comment section, the live chat. All right, so let me read it out, guys. Starting from 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 저는 비키라고 하고요. 외국 사람들에게 한국어를 가르치는 일을 하고 있습니다. 고양이를 너무 좋아해서 집에서 한 마리 기르고 있고, 또 독서랑 영화 보는 것도 정말 좋아합니다. 안 좋아하는 건 너무 시끄러운 장소이고, 또 잔인한 장면이 많이 나오는 영화도 별로 좋아하지 않습니다. 제 꿈은 많은 분들에게 좋은 한국어 선생님으로 기억되는 것인데, 많은 학습자분들이 제가 만드는 다양한 콘텐츠로 한국어를 재미있게 배우고 실력도 늘릴 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다. Okay, so that was the end of my self-introduction. 그러면 have you guys filled out each blank? 오, 장민님 진짜 빠른데요? 와우, 외국 사람들 가르치는 한 마리 독서랑 와우, perfect. 다 맞았어요. 100점이네요, 장민님. You've been paying attention. Alright, 그래서 we will come back to my self-introduction, breaking down this introduction after we're done learning each element. So we're focused on elaborating more of your job, what you do, what you like and what you don't like, and your dreams, goals, and hopes. 일단은 보겠습니다. Let's start from job, guys. So in the beginner part, we learned how to say your job with the expression 제 직업은, my job is this, right? But in intermediate level, if you want to be more specific, now you want to say what kind of work do you do at your job. Then you can say 저는 verb는 일을 하고 있습니다. 여기서 보시면 verb는 일, 이거 먼저 볼게요. So verb는 noun. 일단은 verb can be a modifier. So basically, verb is usually something that describes an action, right? It like the subject does this, but it can also be used to describe a noun. So for example, in English, you say a girl that dances, or it could be a dancing girl. 아무튼, in this form, dance is what modify a girl. It adds more description of a girl. right? So this grammar does precisely that. By adding verb with 는, it makes the verb into a modifier form to add more details of noun. 그래서 a girl that dances would be, so dance is 춤추다, 춤추다. 그래서 if you say 춤추, verb stem form, 춤추는 girl, 소녀, a little girl. 춤추는 소녀, it means a girl that dances. So this verb becomes a modifier by adding 는. 그래서 여기서도 보시면, so if we break down verb 는 일 means work. So by adding what kind of specific work you do, you use the verb and then add 는 일 that I do verb. 이런 식으로 할 수 있어요. 예를 들어볼게요. 예를 들어서 let's say I'm a Korean teacher, right? I'm a Korean teacher. So I can say 저는 제 직업은 한국어 선생님입니다. But if I want to be more specific about what exactly I do, I can say 저는 외국 사람들에게, so this is a whole sentence, 외국 사람들에게, to foreign people, to foreigners, 한국어를 가르치는 일을 하고 있습니다. Basically, I do that work, right? I'm doing that work. 그래서 basically, I added this whole thing is what I do, right? And since Korean sentences end in a verb, that's why verbs get attached to 는. So I attached this whole sentence with 는 to describe what exactly I do. 저는 외국 사람들에게 한국어를 가르치는 일을 하고 있습니다. 아니면 I could also say 저는 외국 사람들에게 한국어를 가르치는 job name, 가르치는 선생님입니다. I could also say my job name here, 선생님입니다. So in this case, I provide both my job name and what exactly I do. So the literal translation would be 저는 외국 사람들에게 한국어를 가르치는 선생님입니다. I'm a teacher that teaches Korean to foreign people. 이런 식으로 할 수 있어요. If you are a vet, for example, if you are a vet, let's add one more page. Let's say you are a vet. 수의사, that is 수의사. You can say 제 직업은 수의사입니다. But if you want to be more specific about what you do, you can say 저는 뭐 동물을 진찰하고 동물을 뭐 치료하는 수의사입니다. Basically, I'm a veterinarian that 충무를 치료하다. That cures animals. 이런 뜻입니다. 와, 근데 진짜 신기한 게 what's interesting, guys, is that now that we moved on to intermediate section, a lot of viewers left. Wow, I can see the reduction in the number of viewers. That really tells that not many of you are intermediate. There are more beginner learners out there. And I'm so proud of you guys for reaching this level and being able to follow through with this class. So keep going. I want to encourage you to keep going. 그 다음에, what about you guys? What are your jobs? Can you tell me your job so I can use it in the example? Or let's say you are a nurse, 간호사. 그러면 you can just simply say 제 직업은 간호사입니다. But if you want to be more specific, you can say 환자들을 돌보다 means to take care of. 환자 means patient at a hospital. 돌보는 뭐 일을 하고 있습니다. I do a work of taking care of patients. Or you can also say 환자들을 돌보는 간호사입니다. 간호사입니다. 이런 식으로 말을 할 수가 있어요. 그리고 an even more advanced way to say it would be industry field에 관련된 일을 하고 있습니다. If you don't want to be specific, but you want to give the other person the overall idea of what you do, then you can say, I do a work 관련된, that is related to, 뭐뭐에 관련되다 means to be related to. noun에 관련되다. To be related to this field. 관련된 일을 하고 있습니다. So if I don't want to specify what I do, but I want to, just provide overall idea, then I could say 뭐 교육에 관련된 일을 하고 있습니다. 교육 means education. 교육에 관련된 일을 하고 있습니다. I could say it like this, right? 그리고 제 직업은 회사원입니다. 좋아요. 일단 그렇게 하면 되고요. 그리고 요리사, 학생, alright. 그 다음에 let's move on to when you're a student, you could say 저는 학생입니다, right? 저는 학생입니다. I'm a student, but a more advanced way to say you're a student is by saying 저는 학교에 다니고 있습니다. 학교에 다니고 있습니다. So we learned in details about what 다니다's every single usage in the last live class, right? And if 다니다 is used in the context of school, like 학교에 다니다, it means you are a student of a school. So you attend school, you go to school, you are a student of that school, basically. So 학교에 다니고 있습니다. I'm attending school. Or even more advanced, 저는 학교에 재학 중입니다. Both are used commonly by native speakers. And 재학 중, this word is a Sino-Korean word that comes from this 한자 and this 한자. So it literally means you are present, you're currently at school. So you are a student, you go to school, you attend school. 저는 학교에 재학 중입니다. Both are used commonly. 그래서 if you use these expressions, it'll make your self-introduction sound more native. And people will get the impression that, this person has been studying Korean for a while. Wow, this person speaks good Korean. All right. 그 다음에, and we also learned how to express your major, right? What you study. So this was the most basic expression. 제 전공은 blah blah blah입니다. I blah 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 전공합니다. or 공부합니다. 근데 you can also say, if you don't want to give specific details about your major, but the overall idea, you can also use this word. 뭐뭐 subject에 관련된 공부를 하고 있습니다. Literally, study that is related to a subject, or major that is related to a subject, I do. 이런 식으로 할 수 있어요. 그래서 예를 들어서, if you are studying medicine, for example, you can say 뭐 의학에 관련된 공부를 하고 있습니다. But you don't want to specify your specific field, whether you study for being a surgeon, pharmacist. If you don't want to give that details, you can just give the overall idea. 의학에 관련된 공부. If you are studying literature, but you don't want to specify what branch of literature you're studying, then you can just say 문학에 관련된 공부를 하고 있습니다. 공부를 하고 있습니다. 이런 식으로 할 수 있어요. 그리고 장민님, 과학에 관련된 전공을 하고 있습니다. So you're studying something related to 과학, science. Perfect. 좋습니다. 그 다음에 Korean language too difficult. 아니요. 그렇지 않아요? 근데 to be fair, every language is too difficult when you are a learner. 그래서 given by your name, I think you're Vietnamese. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry if I got it wrong. But Vietnamese is hard too, if you think about it. English is hard too for, new learners, especially Korean learners or East Asian language speakers. So yeah, 어렵지 않아요. 계속 할 수 있어요. 그다음에 how do I say I'm a shop owner? 이러면은 you can say 가게를 운영하고 있어요. 가게. You can say 가게를 I manage a shop basically. 가게를 운영하고 있어요. 아니면요. You could also say 가게 사장님이에요. 저는 가게 사장님이에요. 사장님입니다. 사장님 has lots of meaning. It means boss or the owner of a place. So store owner, 가게 사장님입니다. Or you can also just say 가게 사장입니다. 가게 사장 or 가게 사장님. Alright. 그리고 그 다음에 so I forgot to put number 3. If you neither work or study. You neither work or study. You can say, I'm looking for a job, right? I'm looking for a job. So here are a few ways you can say, I'm looking for a job. You can say, 일자리를 찾고 있어요. 일자리를 찾고 있어요. 여기서 찾다 means to look for and 일자리는요. It also means job. 일자리 is a job, but it's different from 직업. So 직업 is more like your occupation, like profession, whereas 일자리 means any sort of employment. So 일자리 literally means work seat. So it could be basically any sort of employment. It could be a part-time job. It could be somewhere that's hiring, anything. So 일자리를 찾고 있어요. I'm looking for like a place to work where the place that could fill me in. 그 다음에 you could also say 취업을 준비하고 있어요. 취업을 준비하고 있어요. 취업은요. 취업 means you achieve a 직업. You achieve a job. So you land a job, you land a profession. 그래서 취업을 준비하고 있어요. Sounds more like a serious job, whereas 일자리 could mean any job. That's why when we say 취업, when we're looking for a job using 취업, we say 준비하다. We're preparing. I'm preparing for achieving a job, literally. And they both mean I'm looking for a job, but like I said, 일자리 찾고 있어요 sounds rather broad. 취업을 준비하고 있어요 sounds like a more serious profession. There's a specific profession that you are preparing to get. 그리고 취업을 구하고 있어요는 틀린 표현이고요. It's a wrong expression. You can say 취업을 준비하고 있어요. Or 일자리를 구하고 있어요. 괜찮아요. 일자리를 구하고 있어요도 괜찮아요. 구하고 있어요. 구하다 means to look for. 찾다 means to find. 그리고 you could also say, this is a little difficult word. 구직 중이에요. 구직 중이에요. 구직 means job seeking. So I'm in the middle of job seeking. 구직 중이에요. 이런 식으로 할 수 있어요. 그리고 조금 재미있는 표현 알려드릴까요, 여러분? I'll teach you guys kind of a fun way to say like you don't have a job. 일단은 so in Korean there's this word for unemployed person which is 백수. So if you say 저는 백수입니다, it means you're unemployed. But these days there's a wittier slang that's used in place of 백수 that goes like this. 이게 홈 프로텍터. So it's a relatively recent slang. So not all Korean people might be aware of it. But if you break this down, it comes from English word, guys. Home, protector. What do you think protector means? protector. So it's like saying I'm a home protector. And what do you think home protector is? So at first, what's witty about it is that at first it sounds so impressive. It's even in English, right? For Korean people, it sounds so impressive. It sounds like a huge career. But if you think about it, a home protector? Home protector, you protect your home. Oh, so you stay home while you protect your home. So you basically are unemployed. 약간 이런 뜻이에요. 그래서 this is a really witty way to say I'm currently not working. 웃겨요. 맞아요. 저도 처음에 when I first heard about this term, it was so funny. 네, home protector. It was so new. All right. 그리고 let's skip this one. I'm sure you guys already know how to say present progressive. Let's skip this part. And let's move on to what you like. A more elaborate way to say what you like. So the most basic way is by saying you like something. 뭐뭐를 좋아해요. 뭐뭐를 좋아해요. If you want to mix it with a verb, then you can say verb는 걸 좋아해요, right? 좋아해요. 네. 와, 홈프로텍터 굉장히 좋은 표현이에요. 맞아요. 진짜 creative 한 것 같아요. It doesn't sound, sad. Like some people feel bad for people who are unemployed, but the word home protector itself, makes the atmosphere between you and the other person a lot brighter. It's not awkward. So I freaking love that term. 그 다음에 아무튼 그렇고. 그리고 you can also say 좋아하는 것은 blank입니다. 좋아하는 것. So first you say 좋아하는 것은. So 좋아하는 것. What do you guys think this means? So we learned that by adding 는 것, it changes the verb into a noun, right? So that's what 는 것 does first. It's a nominalization of verb. It changes verb to noun. But sometimes it can also be translated as what you do. So for example, 좋아하는 걸 뭐 하세요? For example, 좋아하는 걸 하세요. It doesn't mean do your liking. If it's translated that way, it's a little weird, but it's like do what you like, the thing that you like. Okay, so this would be a better translation, a more easier to understand one. The thing that you verb. The thing that you verb. 그러면은 여러분, what would be the thing that you don't like? Thing that you don't like. Thing that you don't like. What you don't like. 싫어하다. To hate. What you hate. Or it could also be 안 좋아하다. Right? 안 좋아하는 거. 안 좋아하는 거. So 는 거 has that meaning. 그래서 좋아하는 것은 it's like saying what I like. 좋아하는 것은 what I like is something. Or 것은 and 것 and 은 combined can get shortened to con. So you can also say 좋아하는 건 blank입니다. 이렇게 쓸 수 있습니다. 그래서 뭐 내가 좋아하는 것은 내가 나, right? I, not 어이. 내가 좋아하는 것은 not 을 because 것은 this is a subject, topic of the sentence. not 을, 것은 딸기입니다. 좋아하는 건 딸기입니다. 좋아하는 건 제 고양이입니다. I 100% agree with you. I freaking love my cat. 고양이. We're cat lovers. 네. 좋아요. 그리고 좋아요. 싫어하는 것은 일찍 일어나는 것입니다. What I hate is early waking up, getting up early. 좋아요. Perfect sentence. 그런 식으로 말할 수 있어요. You can express your like and dislike with 는 거. 그리고 here are a couple of variations you can use for what you like. You can say your 취미, your hobby. Your hobby, 취미, is something. So you can say, like, my hobby is listening to music. In that case, you can say 취미는 음악을 듣다. 음악 듣는 것입니다. 취미는 음악 듣는 것입니다. 그리고 뭐 특기. You can also say 특기 because so 특기 literally means what you're good at. So if you are good at something, most of the time it leads to your liking, right? So you can also replace what you like with 특기, what you're good at. So you can say 특기는 something입니다. Or you can also paraphrase 특기 to its literal meaning. 제가 잘하는 것, what I'm good at, what I do well. So what I'm good at은 blank입니다. You can say it like this. So if you say what I'm good at is memorizing words, that's a really amazing talent that you have. If that's the case, so you can say 특기는 단어 외우는 거. Memorizing words. 단어 외우다. 단어 외우는 것입니다. Memorizing words. 외우다 means to memorize. 단어 means words. 그 다음에 제 취미는 춤을 추는 것입니다. You like dancing. Alright. 좋아요. 그 다음에 alright. 그리고 the third alternative is saying 관심사. 관심사 means your field of interest. So 제 관심사는 blank입니다. Or you could also say blank에 관심이 있습니다. blank에 in blank 관심이 있다. I have 관심, interest. So I'm interested in something. Or 많습니다. 관심이 많습니다. I have a lot of interest in something. 그러면 if you want to say, let's say you are interested in Korean history, you can say 한국 역사, Korea history에 관심이 I have a lot of interest. I'm interested very much. 관심이 많습니다. 이런 식으로 말을 할 수가 있어요. 아니면 뭐 한국 문화, Korean culture에 관심이 많습니다. I'm interested in Korean culture. 그리고 I'm interested in paintings. 그림에 관심이 많습니다. 좋아요. 이런 식으로 할 수 있고 그리고 for what we don't like, we already covered this in the previous section. So basically you can say 안 좋아하는 것은 blank. 근데 there are a couple of verbs you can use for not like. Either 싫어하다, 안 좋아하다, 별로 안 좋아하다. So these are written according to the order of the intensity of the feeling of dislike. So 싫어하다 means you hate. You hate it. It's the highest feeling of not liking something, most intense feeling of not liking something. 안 좋아하다 literally means you not like. So it's less intense than 싫어하다, but it's still quite negative. 그 다음에 if you want to soften that you don't like it, then you can say 별로 안 좋아하다. Sorry, 별로 안 좋아하다. 별로 안 좋아하다. 여기서 별로 means not that. Not that verb or not that adjective. It's always used with negative verb to mean not that something. So 별로 안 좋아하다. 근데 별로 싫어하다는 안 돼요. You cannot say 별로 싫어하다 though, because 싫어하다 itself, so this has negative meaning, to hate, right? 싫어하다 has a negative meaning, but grammatically speaking, 싫어하다 is not a negative verb per se because it doesn't negate a verb. It's a verb in and of itself that means hate. 싫어하다's negative form would be 안 싫어하다, not hate. So 별로 싫어하다 is a grammatically wrong sentence because 별로 has to be followed by a grammatically negative sentence. 그래서 여기 있다. 시끄러운 사람을 별로 안 좋아합니다. 좋아요. Loud people. I don't like loud people that much. So you're kind of softening your not liking by using 별로. 그리고 주부인데 you're a housewife, but 싫어하는 것은 집안일이에요. Thank you for being honest. Wow. 맞아요. 집안일은 진짜 너무너무 힘들어요. Once or twice or even third times it's fine, but when you have to do it for good, it becomes such a chore. 네, 너무너무 싫어요. That's a really good sentence. 빌리아나님, thank you for sharing though. Sharing. 그래서, so you can also say, what I hate is something. What I don't like is something. What I don't like that much is something. So 싫어하는 것은 뭐입니다. 안 좋아하는 것은 뭐입니다. 별로 안 좋아하는 것은 blank입니다. 그리고 공포, you mean horror movie, horror film은 공포 영화. 그러니까 공포 itself is just horror. So you can say 공포 영화. 공포 영화 혼자서 보는 걸 안 좋아합니다. You don't like watching it alone. Me neither. I can't. I just can't. Not only do I not like it, I just can't. It's gonna haunt me for the next like 2 weeks. So that's just not good. 다음에 저는 you can say 저는 아무것도 별로 안 좋아해요. 아무것도. So this has to 아무것도 별로 안 좋아해요 means you don't like anything. You don't hate anything that much. So basically you're okay with everything. There's nothing particular that you hate. You have to use 아무것도. So 일단은 키스님, I think you understood why, right? I think I don't have to explain it. And the last part is speaking about your 꿈, your dreams, your 목표, your goals, and your hopes. 희망. 일단은 꿈은 we already covered it briefly in the beginner section. You can just say 꿈은 my dream is something, right? My dream is something, or you want to become something, right? 뭐뭐가 되고 싶습니다. 그리고 you can also say 뭐뭐이가 꿈입니다. 잠깐만. Here's an interesting grammar about the difference between 은는 and 이가, guys. So we say 꿈은, let's say your dream is being a doctor. 꿈은 의사입니다. Let's say your dream is a doctor. 의사입니다. You can also reverse it by saying doctor is my dream. Doctor is my dream. But in that case, 의사 comes first, but the particle changes. 의사가, this time you have to mark 의사 with 가, and then 꿈입니다. And this is because 꿈 is a broader category, and in your dream there is 의사, right? So 은는 is usually used to mark something broader, and 이가 is used to mark something specific. Specific. 다음에 요거는 broad or general. 그렇기 때문에 when you reverse it, this first thing, your dream, specific dream, has to be marked with 이가. 이렇게 할 수 있어요. 그래서 꿈은 뭐입니다. You can say this, or you can say something 이 or 가 꿈입니다. 꿈입니다. 그래서 if you want to say share your dream, guys. Share your dream. Please share your dream. So I could use your example sentence. 일단은 세연님께서 싫어하는 것은 과시하는 사람들입니다. Okay, this is a good sentence, grammatically perfect. 과시하다 means showing off. So you don't like people who boast a lot. 그리고 can you guys share any of your dreams so I could use your sentence? Meanwhile, let's move on to 목표. So 목표 means goal. So it works the same way. You can say your 목표 is something. And if you want to reverse it and say something first, your specific goal first, then you can say something 이가, this is my 목표. This is 목표. Konglish dream, 드림 is often used. 근데 when we're talking about like what we want to be in the future, we use 꿈. We don't use 드림. 드림 can be used, but I don't know. It sounds like an odd way to say dream. 네, so I don't think it's a very commonly used Konglish word. 엔지님. Okay. I want to visit Korea. 아니면 장미님, 제 꿈은 돈을 많이 버는 것입니다. Okay, 좋아요. Let's reverse it, guys. 꿈은 돈을 많이 버는 것입니다. So 장미님's dream is basically making a lot of money. And let's reverse it and say 돈을 많이 벌다. Specific goal first, dream first. 돈을 많이 버는 것이, we have to mark it with E, right? Because we're saying specific thing first. 것이 목표입니다. 꿈입니다. 좋아요. So that's how you can reverse 장미님's dream. My dream is earning a lot of money, and earning a lot of money is my dream. Both work fine, but you have to be careful with the particle. 그다음에 yes, you're doing it correctly. 한국에 가는 게 내 꿈이에요. 그렇죠. You use it correctly. So this 게 here, guys, 가는 게 is a shortened form of 것이. So 것이, when shortened, it becomes 게. So you can say something는 게 목표입니다. Verb는 게 목표 or 꿈입니다. You can say it like this. 뭐뭐 하는 게 목표입니다. 꿈입니다. 그리고 this is a really good 목표, good goal. 내 목표는 토픽 1 시험에 합격하는 거야. 맞아요. To reverse it, it would be 토픽 1 시험에 합격하는 게 목표입니다. 좋아요. Thank you for sharing your dreams, guys. All right. 그러면, so we're not done. The last one, expressing hopes and wishes. So the simplest way you can do is by saying verb 고 싶습니다. It means I want to verb. It can only be used for your own action. I myself want to become something. I want to eat something. I want to go something. That verb has to be what you can do, what you have control over. 고 싶습니다. 그리고 you can also use verb 으면 좋겠습니다 or verb 왔었으면 좋겠습니다. So they are both used for expressing your wish. Expressing one's wish. 그리고 they can be used interchangeable for wishing your future wish. Future wish, like I hope this happens, like in the future or in the near future. 근데 verb 왔었으면 좋겠습니다 can also be used not only for future wish, but for present wish as well. What you wish were different now. What you wish were different now. Like this is not the case now, but I hope it was otherwise. But I wish that it was different. What you wish? What was I gonna say? What you wish were different now. Oh, all right. So when talking about your future wish, like I wish I become this in the future, I wish I could do this in the future, you can use both. Verb 으면 좋겠습니다 or verb 왔었으면 좋겠습니다. Basically, you conjugate it in past tense and then add 으면. And for this one, you just add the stem of the verb. 그래서 장미님, 사람들이 아프지 말고 건강했으면 좋겠습니다. Perfect sentence. 사람들이 아프지 말고 people are not sick and healthy. I wish. Literally. So I wish people don't get sick and healthy, become healthy. 그리고 you can say 한국어를 잘하다. 왜냐면 잘하다 fits 을을 fits 잘하다, not low. So 한국어를 잘하면 좋겠습니다. That's a good wish as well. 언젠가 비키 선생님을 만나고 싶어요. 오, 좋습니다. 이것도 좋은, it's a really good sentence as well. 그 다음에 건강하다는 형용사 아닌가요? 근데 in the group of verb, both verb and adjectives are included. So when I say verb, it's usually both verb and adjective. 그래서 건강하다도 쓸 수 있어요. 왜냐면 adjectives, another name for adjective is descriptive verb. So in the broader category, adjective is also a verb. 장미님. 그래서 그렇게 you can express your hopes and wishes like this. And 나즈님, 한국에 가서 you want to go to Korea and 일하고 싶습니다. And work there. 좋아요. Thank you for sharing many good dreams, goals, and most of all, example sentences. 좋아요, 여러분. 그러면은 before we move on to another self-introduction listening from Korean drama series, let's move up to my self-introduction that we covered here. 일단은 그럼 I'm sure after what we've learned so far, you guys can understand a lot of it. 일단은 볼게요. 안녕하세요. 저는 비키라고 하고요. So, I'll continue. 외국 사람들에게 한국어를 가르치는 일을 하고 있습니다. 맞아요. So, 외국 사람 means foreign person. So, it's foreigner. So, foreigners, two foreigners. Korean language, 한국어, 가르치다, teach. 는 일, so 는 is already there, so I'll delete 는 here. So work that I teach Korean to foreign people 하고 있습니다. I do. So basically, I'm describing the work that I do, the job that I have in this part. 그 다음에, let's continue, guys. Let's continue. If you missed this part, you can fill in the blank. I'll repeat it first. So let's try the next sentence. 고양이를 너무 좋아해서 집에서 한 마리 기르고 있고 또 독서랑 영화 보는 것도 정말 좋아합니다. So you guys can write on your printed out worksheet or in the comment in the live chat what you hear for the first and second blank. 일단은 고양이를 너무 좋아해서 고양이 cat I like it very much. So 집에서 at home I said 한 마리 기르고 있습니다. 마리 is a counter for animals. And I said 한 마리. So it's one animal. And I didn't have to specify 고양이 because it's obvious that it's cat. Because cat is the only animal that appears in the sentence. So 고양이를 너무 좋아해서 집에서 한 마리 기르고 있고. So 기르다 means to raise. You can also interchangeably use it with 키우다. So you can say 한 마리 기르고 있고. 그리고 how about the second blank? 독서. Yes, I said 독서. Do you guys remember what 독서 means? 독서 means reading a book, right? Reading a book. So, reading book. And 영화 보는 것. Watching movie. 또 정말 좋아합니다. I really like it a lot. 그 다음에 let's move on to the next sentence, guys. Next sentence. 안 좋아하는 건 you guys can fill in this and this blank. These two blanks over here. 안 좋아하는 건 너무 시끄러운 장소이고 또 잔인한 장면이 많이 나오는 영화도 별로 좋아하지 않습니다. So, did you guys hear what I said in the blank? So let's start from the first sentence. 안 좋아하는 건 what I don't like is 너무 too 시끄러운 장소이고 시끄러운 is an adjective that comes from 시끄럽다. So 시끄러운 is the modifier form of 시끄럽다. And 장소 means place. So too loud place, too noisy places. And 또 일단은 여기서 또 you will hear Korean people using 또 over and over again. It's a really common word. 또 means two things. Again and more. So again, as in doing the same thing once again, 또, and it can also mean more as in you are adding something more. So it's like saying in addition, moreover, additionally, 잔인한 장면이 많이 나오는 영화도 좋아하지 않습니다. 잔인하다 하면은 it means cruel. 잔인하다 하면 cruel이란 뜻이에요. 그리고 it can also mean violent. 그래서 many violent scenes, 장면이 많이 나오다. Violent scenes appear a lot. That kind of movie는 영화도 별로 좋아하지 않습니다. I don't really like it that much. I don't like movies that have a lot of violent scenes. 그 다음에 제 꿈은 my dream. 이제 많은 분들에게 so let me continue so you guys can fill in this and this and this blank. 볼게요. 제 꿈은 많은 분들에게 좋은 한국어 선생님으로 기억되는 것인데 많은 학습자분들이 제가 만드는 다양한 콘텐츠로 한국어를 재미있게 배우고 실력도 늘릴 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. Oh my gosh, I said 실력 and you see here Siri got activated. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. 아무튼 들었나요, 여러분? Were you guys able to hear what was said in each blank? So let's start from the first one. 제 꿈은 my dream. 많은 분들에게 to a lot of 분 is an honorific form of 사람. So it's people. So many people to many people or by many people. 좋은 한국어 선생님으로 기억되는 것인데 그래서 기억되다. 기억하다 means to remember. 그리고 기억되다 means it's a passive verb. So it's to be remembered. So my dream is 는 것인데 is being remembered as a good Korean teacher. 좋은 한국어 선생님 by or to a lot of people. 그것인데, so this 인데 is this conjunction, which first means but it also it's also a conjunction that indicates that there's more to say. So 은는데 can be but sometimes it's not but, it's just that you have more to say. So 것인데 많은 학습자분들이 a lot of learners 학습자분들이 a lot of learners 제가 만들다 means to make plus 는 suffix that makes the verb into a modifier. So the contents I make or the various 다양한 contents I make 로 using the diverse contents that I make 한국어를 Korean 재미있게 배우고 enjoy learning. They enjoy learning Korean. Literally, funly, in a fun way learn. So they enjoy learning Korean and even 실력 means your skill. Basically, your Korean ability, your Korean skill, even your skill 늘릴 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. So let's break down this sentence, guys. 실력도 늘릴 수 있었으면 좋겠다. 실력도 늘릴 수 있었으면 좋겠다. I think I need more page. 실력을 Do you guys remember 있었으면 좋겠다? 실력을 늘리다 means to increase, to raise, to improve. So 실력을 basically I combine this 늘리다 verb with 왔었으면 좋겠다 that is used for expressing your hopes and wishes. 좋겠습니다. 그래서 I wish people would be able to increase their Korean ability with the various content that I make. So that is my dream, guys. That is the question. That is the answer to my question that ONC asked earlier. Like, what is your dream? You asked me that. All right, so that was my version. 그다음에 let's check out other versions. So language is so diverse that, not everyone will follow, the format, right? The exact same format that we learned. And so the point of doing this self-introduction checking out the self-introduction from Korean K-drama series is so that you guys can how do I say? You guys can be more flexible, right? You guys can learn that you can always be more flexible with how you express yourself in a language. And yeah, rest assured that there's no one size fits all answer when it comes to expressing yourself. So yeah, let's learn about various people from this TV series 1920. 그다음에 intermediate. So we're gonna do this. You guys can fill in the blank while listening. 잠깐만요. How do I? Let's make it smaller. All right. So I could have double screen on the screen on the monitor. Intermediate. No. 왜 이래 이거? 여기 있다. Intermediate. All right, so this guy is 세연, 문세연. So let's learn about 세연이's story. 세연이가 뭐라고 하는지 한번 들어볼게요. So I will cover the subtitle guys so that you guys can pay more attention to what he's saying and also fill in the blank. All right, so let's start.
안녕, 나는 문세연이라고 하고 나는 지금 운동선수야. 탁구 선수를 하고 있고 좋아하는 거랑 싫어하는 게 생각보다 둘 다 많아. 그래서 나랑 얘기를 많이 하면서 많이 서로 알아갈 수 있었으면 좋겠다.
안녕하세요.
들었나요, 여러분? 안녕, 나는 문세연이라고 하고 Did you guys hear his job? 문세연이라고 하고 한번 다시 들어볼게요.
안녕, 나는 문세연이라고 하고 나는 지금 운동선수야.
운동선수. 나는 지금 What is his job, guys? 운동선수. Literally means so 선수 means athlete, sports player. So sports player. I'm a sports player and specifically 탁구 선수를 하고 있대요. Specifically, I'm a ping pong player. 탁구 선수를 하고 있고 그 다음에
탁구 선수를 하고 있고 좋아하는 거랑 싫어하는 게 생각보다 둘 다 많아.
좋아하는 거랑 싫어하는 게 좋아하는 거 what I like and 싫어하는 거 what I hate. We learned that this K is a combination of 것 and the subject marker E. So table tennis, yes. Table tennis is a better word. Thank you, 장민님. Table tennis. 다음에 what I like and what I hate. 생각보다 more than I think, more than I thought. 둘 다, both, 많아. There are many things I like and hate more than I thought. 둘 다 많아. What he said exactly is 많다. So 다 is another sentence ending that is commonly used in 반말 or in written form, but I will skip the explanation for that. You can check out my sentence endings lesson that I did previously, like a few months earlier. 아무튼 둘 다 많다. 그래서
나랑 얘기를 많이 하면서 많이 서로 알아갈 수 있었으면 좋겠다.
그래서 나랑 얘기를 많이 하면서 나랑 얘기를 많이 하면서 while talking with me a lot, while talking with me 서로 알아가다. 서로 means each other. 알아가다 to get to know. 갈 수 있었으면 좋겠다. 갈 수 있었으면 좋겠다. So this part is basically expressing his future hopes, right? So basically he's saying 서로 알아가다 to get to know each other and he mixes it with 을 수 있다, to be able to, and then he mixes it with his hope. 썼으면 좋겠다. I wish that we are able to get to know each other while talking a lot. While sharing many things. 그다음에, and then he finishes, he uses 반가워 as his closing remarks. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So this was done in 반말. And the rest, self-introductions, will be done in 존댓말, guys. 존댓말. 그다음에 이제
안녕하세요. 저는
잠깐만요. Let me cover the
저는 정서영입니다. 제 꿈은 배우입니다. 사람들 기억에 계속 남을 수 있는 그런 배우가 되고 싶습니다.
안녕하세요. 저는
조금 빨랐는데 다시 한번 들어볼게요. 안녕하세요. 저는 정서영입니다. 그리고 do you guys heard what her dream is?
제 꿈은 배우입니다.
제 꿈은 배우입니다. 배우래요, 배우. She wants to become an actor or actress in her case. 배우입니다. 그리고 she specifies what kind of actress she wants to be.
사람들 기억에 계속 남을 수 있는 그런 배우가 되고 싶습니다.
뭐래요? 사람들의 기억에 계속 남을 수 있는 그런 배우가 되고 싶습니다. She expresses her hope by saying 고 싶다. 아이고, why is it so dark? 고 싶습니다. 고 싶습니다. 그렇죠. So what kind of actress does she want to be? People's 기억 means memory. 기억에 continue to stay. So 기억에 남다 literally means to stay in one's memory. So it means they remember you. So basically, she wants to be the type of 배우 that can stay continuously in people's minds. So she wants to be an actress that people continue to remember. She wants to be an impressive actress like that. 그 다음에 let's move on to the next one. 상원이, let me cover the subtitle.
안녕하세요. 저는 오상원입니다. 저는 현재 포항공과대학교 포스텍에 재학 중입니다. 제 꿈은 로봇공학자입니다. 우리 실생활에서 사용할 수 있는 로봇을 만들어서 사람들의 삶에 도움을 주는 것이 목표입니다.
안녕하세요. 최혜린입니다.
조금 빨랐죠? 로봇. 일단은 상원이는 지금 대학생이래요. 저는 오상원입니다.
저는 오상원입니다.
저는 오상원입니다.
현재 포항공과대학교 포스텍에 재학 중입니다.
저는 현재 포항공과대학교. So 포항공과대학교 is the Korean name of the school, and Postech, P-O-S-T-E-C-H, is its English name. So he repeats both. 포항공과대학교 포스텍에 재학 중입니다. 재학 중입니다. So we learned that 재학 중이다 is another way of saying 에 다니다, right? And we also learned that 재학 is a Sino-Korean word that comes from this 한자, which means you are currently at school. So you are a student there, right? You attend the school. 포스텍에 재학 중입니다. 그리고 did you guys hear what his dream is? It's pretty impressive.
제 꿈은 로봇공학자입니다.
제 꿈은 로봇 공학자래요. 공학 is engineering. 공학자 is an engineer. So he's a robot-related engineer. It is his dream. 꿈은 로봇 공학자입니다. 그리고
그래서 사용할 수 있는 로봇을 만들어서 사람들의 삶에 도움을 주는 것이 목표입니다.
로봇을 만들어서 I make a robot and then 사람들의 삶에 people's life에 도움을 주다. To give help는 것이 this is my 목표입니다. 좋아요. 목표입니다. 그래서 여기서 보시듯이 this is something that we learned when we were doing the hopes, dreams, and goals part. So basically, if the specific goal comes first, you have to mark it with 이가, right? And then 목표. When 목표 comes first, then you say 목표는 blank, 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 blank. If the blank, 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 blank comes first, the specific content of your goal, then you say that goal 이가 목표입니다, right? 그리고 다음에 마지막 예린이 한번 볼게요. 예린이, let's hear about 예린 story.
안녕하세요. 최예린입니다. 저는 승무원이 꿈입니다. 다양한 언어를 접할 수도 있고 비행기도 탈 수 있고 다국적 사람들을 만날 수 있는 승무원으로 진로를 정하게 되었습니다.
조금 빨랐는데 들었나요? Did you guys hear what her dream is?
저는 승무원이 꿈입니다.
승무원. You can see that. Do you guys remember in the beginner part? Another girl's dream was also flight attendant. So like I said, it's a very highly esteemed job for a lot of, females in Korea. Flight attendant. I heard that it's not the case. It's the opposite in some other countries. So I remember they found it really interesting to know about that because in their country it was the opposite. But in Korea, that is the case. 저는 승무원이 꿈입니다. Flight attendant. Flight attendant. 그래서 여기도 보시듯이 when you say 꿈 first, you say 꿈은 blank. But when you say your specific content of your dream first, you mark it with 이가, right? This is a really common way to say it in Korean. So be careful of the grammar so that you don't sound awkward. Your sentence doesn't sound unnatural. 좋아요. 저는 승무원이 꿈입니다. 그 다음에 뭐래요?
다양한 언어를 접할 수도 있고
다양한 언어를 접할 수도 있고 we learn what 다양한 means. It means various. So 다양한 언어를 접할 수도 있고 다양한 언어를 접하다 means to encounter. I can encounter various languages. 수도 있고 I can do that. And
비행기도 탈 수 있고
비행기도 탈 수 있고 비행기 I can also take an airplane. 비행기를 타다 means to get in a vehicle or airplane. So 비행기도 or any kind of vehicles that moves. So 비행기도 탈 수 있고 I can also get on a plane and 다국적. 여러분 혹시 국적 기억나시나요? Do you remember 국적 from somewhere else? We learned 국적 when we were doing this one, nationality, right? Nationality. 국적 means your nationality. 그러면 여러분 다국적 하면 무슨 뜻일까요? 다국적. 다 is a Sino-Korean word. That means many. 그래서 다국적 하면 이제 many nationalities 해서 what she says is
다국적 사람들을 만날 수 있는
다국적 사람들을 만날 수 있대요. So 다국적 사람들 means people of various nationalities 만날 수도 있는 그런 승무원, a flight attendant that can meet people of diverse nations, can get on a plane and encounter various languages. 그런 승무원으로 진로를 정하게 되었습니다. 진로 means your career path. 정하다 means to decide. So basically you decided your career path as a flight attendant who can do this, and this. So that's how they are introducing themselves in Korean in the TV series. Okay, 좋아요. 그러면, alright, so that's everything that I brought, guys. Thank you so much for staying all throughout the class, especially those who stayed from the very beginning to the very end. I had so much fun preparing for this class, and I hope that you guys learned a lot from it. And yes, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Otherwise, I will end this class. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great weekend doing the things that you plan to do. Yes, I will see you guys in the next one. 너무 감사합니다. 매즈님도 감사합니다. Thank you so much for coming to class, 매즈님. And good luck with your career path. as your career path as a doctor, pursuing medicine. 그리고 장민님 수고하셨어요. 장민님도 thank you for your active participation. They are really every time. I appreciate it every time. Keith님, thank you for coming. 찬님 감사합니다. Chameleon님, happy weekend. 빌리아나님 너무 많이 배웠어요. 좋아요. That makes me so happy. 좋은 하루 보내세요, 빌리아나님. 사바님 감사합니다. 네, 장미님도 푹 쉬시고 또 주말도 잘 보내세요. 알았죠? 오케이, 그러면 no question and I'll end the class here. 두루님 안녕하세요. Okay, so see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye, everyone. I'll click on the finish button. Bye-bye.